So this is how to make a 3-inch airflow meter. I've already done a write-up on how to do this, but it's pretty easy to do, and I've got to do one this evening, so I'm going to do a video. Please excuse the dog in the background. He's having a great time. Anyway, so what we've got is 4 screws. You've got to undo those. It's fairly easy to do. Just use a very sharp Phillips screwdriver. I've already done some of this. Next thing you've got to do is a bead of silicone that runs all the way around here. Start by running the blade round like that, and then next thing you need to do is get the blade in here like this, and very carefully trim all the way around. Once you've trimmed all the silicone out, you'll find that this bit pops out. So that is where we've got to. Next thing you've got to do is 2 more screws here. We are going to undo these. So undo these 2 screws, and then blooming thing. It's hard doing this and filming at the same time. Right, you see these terminals here. So as you can see, they are crimped with a machine. So you can't really desolder them. I've tried so many times, it's really hard. You can do it, but you need a very, very good soldering iron to do it. So next best thing, get a pair of cutters in there and just very carefully below there, like this, snip. Okay, next one along. Please excuse my filming. Bing! It's really hard to do. Really satisfying though. This one. I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times, so it's not problematic. It's just how they are assembled. Okay, so that leaves you with that. You should now be able to get in here. Zoomed right in. There you go. Whatever you do, just check that they're all disconnected, but don't bend them if you can possibly avoid it. Okay, they're all disconnected. Right, next thing we need to do is disconnect this screw here and this screw here. So I will be back in a second. So those 2 screws are out. Sorry, I really could not undo those and film at the same time. They're rather tight. So once that's undone, you should be able to prise this bit off here. So there is again a bead of silicone around here, around the edge there. So we want to trim that all the way off, all the way around there. So working in real time now, so let's see if I can do it and not remove my finger. That'd be fun. Or my toe. See, once you stop trimming it, I forgot to say earlier that is annoyingly 2 types of sealant, it would appear, used on these. Some, like this, it's quite easy to remove. Some don't get disheartened if it just does not want to separate on the top and you end up taking a chunk out of it. They just, some of them do. You can just about Right, so under there you can see it's now. There we go. Right. I'm actually going to stop the video because I am going to chop something off. Not even sure the knife's locked, so I'll remove that. But you get the idea of the process. You don't have to use your foot. Anyway, back to it in a second. Okay, as you can see from the mess on my carpet, I've trimmed all that silicone off now. I'm pretty certain with a proper knife, not this sharp carbon steel thing. You can lift this. You have to excuse my proper knife because, yeah, it's a battler song. So if we get in there, you can just get this down and just. Now what you want to do is work this carefully. Go around it. Once you start to get it to lift, don't rush it. Just get in and pry it. And repeat. Again, dodgy filming, one-handed, but I'm determined to show you how easy this is to do. See what we're lifting. There we go. So what we want to do is lift it this way, not the other way, because if you lift it the other way, you'll bend those terminals, and then it's a pain in the ass to solder them back together. And here we are. So smash, it goes down into those terminals and bends them all. Right, lovely, one-handed. Rolls over in the dirt. Great, that's a good second, that is. So now I've bent all these in the name of YouTube. In the name of helping everyone else, who cares? You can see you can bend these back into place. Right. This white stuff underneath here is thermal paste. You can buy it. It's fairly simple, you don't need to. So this is what we're all about. These 3 hidden screws underneath there. So this is the total amount of screws that you need to remove from one of these in order to remove these 2 parts. You can undo these super simply. They just come apart like this. Not like those 2 big screws where they're actually quite tight. I think they're locked. Into place. Hard to do this. I'm actually doing it through the camera lens on the zoom. Again, snoring dog now. Okay, that's for them. Now, got the gold. This is what we're after. Well, we're after these 2 parts. We need that, and that in order to do what we need. Next thing we need is a bit of pipe. This is just a piece of 3-inch stainless exhaust pipe. You can see that because it's still got the soot on the inside. I have used this before. This is actually the very first airflow meter that I ever made. The first time I ever attempted this. Just to be lazy, I've took the old element out of it that I used that time because it had broken, and I'm going to be reusing it to put into this. So this hole here is 80 long by 50 across, and it needs to be big enough to drop the actual metal inside as well. I say it's 80 by 50. I've done a crap job of that. So that doesn't matter. We're going to seal all that up. So you need to be able to drop the metal inside. And the reason you need to do that is because this element needs to be centralized to the pipe. So, yeah, that's the only way to do it. So that drops in there like that, that's like that. Next thing we need to do is reassemble. So masking tape is going to be your friend here. Make a nice, neat job of it. I'm going to cut the video now and back to it in a second. Just what I mean about the masking tape. We're going to tiger seal all the way around this. So if you get a nice, neat line, it will look nice and neat when we're finished. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to get these pins. We're just going to give them a little tweak down, like that, so that they sit nicely against the terminals when we put it all together. So the thermal paste, you can very carefully go round and scrape off all the thermal paste like this, and here, and here, and here. Get it all out here, so it doesn't need to be. Scrape it all off here, like that, and then you can reapply it to the back of here, like butter. Spread it all in. And like I say, you can buy this stuff really cheap if you're prepared. You can do it, not like me, who's had 3 weeks to prepare for this and then just decided, I'm going to do it tonight, right now, I've got to do it, now. It's like 11 o'clock at night. Anyway, I'm not crazy. So we are going to now, I'll show you how to put this together. So, and then I'm going to take it apart again. So we want to approach from the underneath like that, and then just, there you go, drop them in like that, because trust me, when you bend these, there's one out of place. Bing. Lovely. When you bend those, you'll have a nightmare soldering them up. So that's now pretty much the assembled item. You're going to have to put these 2 big screws in here, back in here and here. That will hold the top and the bottom section together. But next off, before we do that, we're going to, before we're going to do that, we're going to take this off again, silicone seal all the way around there, pop that back together, screw, solder, and then we're gonna tiger seal in here, in here, in here, in here, and then a bead all the way around to hold it all together, and then 4 blobs, 1, 2, 3, 4 into those screw holes just to seal it all up. And then we're going to leave it overnight, and then it will be done. So off out to my shed to solder it up. In the shed, I've rather amateurishly filled that full of silicone, but it doesn't matter because we can clean it out later once it's all finished. So next thing we need to do is plonk this back on here. So remember what I said, fit it from the underneath if you can. Like that. Don't think one of them is in, it's not. God, this is difficult one-handed. I know I said that about 1,000 million times. There. We got it. We have liftoff. Problem that I'm having as well is I've not got the radio on. Thanks, YouTube. Okay. I wonder if I can set this up somewhere that will just amateurishly, because this is the name of the game. If I can do it, you can. Back in a second. Phone clamped in the vise, of course. Why didn't I think of that sooner? Okay, so hopefully you can see everything that's going on. We need to press that down. These are 2 screws. Like this. Like these. With the screwdriver left indoors. Bummer. Needs to be done fairly tight. So we're just going to nip them off nicely at the end. So that's them. We have soldering iron is already heated up and ready to go. Solder is just there. So this bit is tricky. It always is. You've got to get the pin nice and hot. And it just doesn't want to. Best way is to have a hit at each one and then go back and check with your knife again, see whether you've got them, what you need to do. But patience is key here. Okay. You don't want to put too much solder on either, because it's very easy to connect terminals up together. I don't know what these do, but they join together inside the board. Going remarkably smoothly, which means that none of them are soldered together. I did clean the soldering iron off before I started and fluxed it. Maybe being prepared and being professional helps. So they were purporting to be solved. Next thing we need to do is get back with our knife. Just reach down under here and try to disconnect them. Yes, I'm wearing a dressing gown. It's like midnight. And I'm just doing this because I want to have it done done for the morning. Okay, so they are actually all sold. That went, ow, that was hot. They went really well. Clean off some of this silicone on the outside. Like this. Get these two parts connected. A sip of non-endorsed beverage. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, muttering in the background, just cleaning all this silicone off and smashing the element to bits. Sometimes it's really fragile, so you want to be careful with it. Right, there's a little rubber gasket in there. Bye. We don't need that anymore. Doesn't matter which way around you put it, because you're going to know which way around to put it once you put it all together. Okay. Next thing we need to do is some of this normal silicone. Just broken the nice applicator top for it. So that's why I'm Mickey Mouse. Put this all the way around. Nice and applied. Like that. Stick the lid on. Clean. Wipe it well to put it all back on. God, I wish I had the nice applicator. We'd do a nice job with it straight away, but I need it all in that gap there. So it's nicely watertight. Water inside these, they will play up like buttery. Trust me, I've made a few of these. Okay. We've got that all down in the gap. It's nicely stuck together. Should you ever have a problem and you need to get it apart, I've made the mistake before, tightly sealed them all together and then not been able to get them apart. When I've had a bad soldered connection or some stuff like that, that was my gun for the silicone sealant. Let's see what we need to do is get this stuff out of the thing. So we're going to come down to this side. Bicycle. This is sealant gun's knackered as well. Everything's knackered. Change of plan. I bought a new one of these the other day for exactly this occasion. It's so stuck up solid. I hate these. Like the second you open them, that's it. It used to be that I made these in batches. They're that bad. Gun gets stuck. This is probably Tiger Seal though, branded. Pardon me. I'm impatient. I've got no time for that. Ain't nobody got no time for that. Right. 3, 2, 1. You're back in the room. We are going to apply this. Let's apply. I realised I was supposed to do the other bit. I have to be careful. I'm supposed to run a bit of tape on this top edge. So I'm still on. Burned myself already. Burn the shed down. It's like icing a cake. Except it's not a cake. It's an airflow meter. And I don't like cake with icing on it, really. Unpopular opinion. Tune in next week for another Johnny Watts opinion. Nearly swore there. Lather it on nice and thick. Don't worry, your boss is paying for it. Oh, that's me. Oh. Still, these airflow meters are like 100 and something pounds. This tube of Tiger Seal is a tenner. So I don't really care how much of it goes to waste. There is no such thing as waste. Not really. Like I said, you can make them in batches. I used to make them in batches. And if anybody does want me to make them one still after this, send me your airflow meter exchange. I'll send you one back. 100 quid. God, this looks a mess, and these scissors are never going to be the same again. What do I use these for? Oh yeah. Right. We are now fully applied. Next thing we're going to do is dive in with our fingers, because sacrificing these scissors was not enough. Make sure you get it in all these corners. Key that is. Chocolatey. All the way around. Sorry, I'm not sure. Like a rubbish blue pea presenter. Absolutely. This means it all the way around. Get it all in all the crevices. Like that. Looks a mess. I know. Where's my cloth? There. It is nearly impossible to work with this stuff. Free branding. Work with this stuff and not make a mess. Hence the tape. Hence the tape. Stop to flipping Jeremy Clarkson impression. One more smooth out for luck. Like so. And cloth. Right, you'll be left with something looking a bit like that, which is a mess. But here's the magic. So you get this tape. Be careful. Just wrap it as much as possible. Sorry. Covered in that stuff, out of the way. Oh my goodness, gives me anxiety. Right, but I'm holding this desperately. Oomph. Sorry, that does not look very nice. It was here somewhere. Go around quickly. Give it a clean. So the last thing that we need to do is locate the screws that I took out. Here. So it's two. I know there's two upstairs. Bit of a pain. 1 and 2. Buckle my shoe. We've got two. I can show you what to do. Hey, I'm a flipping poet tonight. Poet and nobody told me about it. Also, modelling dressing gowns by unknown, had it since I was 14. That's rubbish, isn't it? Anyway, let's show you what I need to do. So get these screws quite simply, get some goop on the end of them, pop them into these holes. Trying not to touch the perfect storm that you've created. That's just going to fall out, I'll leave it like that. But. So yeah, that's two of them. You need to do all four of them. Don't know where the other two is. This is actually really annoying. I'm sure I got all four in here. My dad used to we had pixies up here. Sheds. There's another one. Found another one. Pixies, I'll put another one there. So that's three. And last one. This is the story of my life. It is like, as I keep excusing myself, midnight. But I think you pretty much get the picture. Next thing that you need to do with this is, oh, look what I just found. Woo! Full house. Oh, I'm happy. Right. Stick them in there. So, get that little wipe down. So, this is what we're left with. It's a little bit scruffy looking at the moment. It'll be okay once it's dried. I'm going to take this device over here. So, oh my goodness, 20 minutes that bit's taken. So that's now clamped in there. You can, if you're feeling particularly spicy, I suppose it was soldering it up and everything, 20 minutes. Just go around. Just just a little bit like that. So it depends on how much of a perfectionist you are. I'm not a perfectionist, but I do like nice things. Oh yeah, so Corsairs, I've been working on my dad's Corsair. If you follow my other videos, unfortunately it's got a bit of a big problem with the front suspension, in as much as the subframe isn't square into the body, it would appear. Just bear with me, I'm just going to flip this over and do the other side. It's kind of important to do something to hold these two bits together when you do this. Like, you can also, what I've done in the past is just tie wrap the living daylights out of it to hold it down. Hold it on. Okay. So there we go. That will be cooked in the morning. That corner looks awful, doesn't it? Let me do something about it. This just looks worse on the film. That'll do. Pig. You're all thinking it. bit tidier. So, element centralised. Oh look, that's why I've got to check these things. We've got to check that these gaps are filled, because they're not on the other side. Can you see there? That's just a little gap. Just make sure they're all filled in, because you can't have any air gaps. Obviously, you can't have any air gaps. The corner down here, that's the corner, is nice. Kind of got to use tiger seal for this bit, because it sticks it all, holds it nice and tight. Right, that is done. That's how you make it.